Hello, my name is Jacob Valcarce, and this is
Xnx.
And welcome to the first episode of our podcast titled
Assemble. Today we'll be discussing the first four Marvel movies in chronological order.
Starting with
Captain America. In Captain America, we know our besties Bucky Barnes and Chris Evans. That's his actual name, but it doesn't matter. He's trying to enlist in the army, and he can't because of his body. He's too scrawny. And so then he goes, and he is recruited by a scientist. And they inject him with the serum, which we know is very important in future movies like Iron Man 3 and stuff like that, for super soldiers. We meet Peggy, and that's his future love interest, and Howard Stark, who is Iron Man's father. He's also very important. He is paraded around. He's not really fighting or anything because they're just like, oh, look at what we did.
He's just rich.
Yeah. And they're just, parading him around. They're like, look at our American hero. They're not really impressed. He finds out Bucky's regiment went missing. And then he's like, oh, no. That's my bestie, Bay. So then he goes and finds them. And he gets him out of the prison. And him and, that squad go and they fight stuff and stuff like that. Side plot, the Tesseract is in this one.
We know from later Marvel movies that's one of the 6 Infinity Stones.
Yes, and that's so important. The side plot for that is that the another German scientist dude who is later revealed to be Hydra, concerning, finds the Tesseract and starts making weapons and things out of it. But in a fight, they damage the Tesseract or whatever, and then Hydra disintegrates, which we later know he's now the Soul Stone, keeper.
The little keeper dude for the stone.
I was so surprised when that man showed up. I was like, you're not supposed to be here. And I actually forgot until I watched the summary that that's why he's there. I was like, why is he there? It's because the Tesseract, snapped him away.
Yeah. Put him over there.
Yes. So this story is a prelude to how he gets in the ice.
Yeah, which he gets unfrozen in the Avengers movie.
Yes, in the Avengers movie. But in this one, we find out that the plane that he's flying, he can't disarm the weapons, so he crashes the plane with him in it to, save a bunch of people or whatever. And so then he wakes up from the ice, and guess who's there? Nick Fury, my man, Nick Fury. I love that man.
Samuel L. Jackson did such a good job.
He's so good in that. When he got snapped in Endgame or whatever, I was like, no, it wasn't Endgame, it was
Infinity War.
Yes, Infinity War. That was one of the saddest ones. I was like, horrible. My man Nick.
Nothing beats Peter Parker though.
I do like him a lot.
They had to give him the saddest.
Oh my God, we can talk about that later.
That's another story.
Okay, so what do we like about Captain America?
It really sets up the whole MCU.
Legit the whole MCU. He is the first Avenger.
It's called Captain America, the first Avenger, for a reason.
For a reason. And it really, I think it also sets a foundation for especially Tony in the future, because you get to know his dad and stuff like that.
Yep. Which I know they have a conflict with that in the third Captain America movie.
Yes, which I love the third the third Iron Man. I'm getting my movies confused.
Captain America?
Yes, Captain America. It's just a thing. It just sets up so beautifully. We get to know Peggy and how strong she is, and things like that. Even in the What If episodes, I've not seen all of them, but I've seen the first one, and Peggy is Captain America, and I'm I support that. I love me some Chris Evans, but also she's so powerful and stuff like that. But yeah, let's see what the next question is. What do you dislike?
What do I dislike? I don't know. What do I not like about Captain America?
I just like Captain America altogether.
What's not to like about Chris Evans?
I know. He's a good-looking man. Him in Knives Out or whatever, in that cable top sweater, I was like, yeah. But I don't really dislike anything about this movie. I think it's very well done. I don't have many bad things to say about
For real.
Marvel. Their newer stuff, when we get to the newer stuff, I will have plenty to say. But their older stuff is just stuff I watched when I was little, so it's really good to hear about.
I feel like there's movies definitely better than this movie.
It's not the best, but it's also not
they're just movies that have a lot more like excitement. I feel like in them.
Yeah, this one is just like it's just such a good like start.
It's a good origin story.
Yeah, which was it actually the first Marvel movie they made, or did they go back?
I think the first one was Iron Man.
So they made Iron Man first and then went back for Captain America. That makes sense.
I think so.
I'll have to do some research into that. But is there anything else you would like to add?
No. The next film is Captain Marvel.
Do I have some things to say?
Listen, it's not the best Marvel movie.
It's not. Okay, that's what you I can't. Ugh.
It's not the best Marvel movie. It does have some good things in it, though.
I will say that.
And the credit scene of that film, I remember like watching it in theaters. It was like a setup for Endgame.
Oh yeah, she shows up. I remember.
Like I saw it, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But the film itself was not my favorite.
I'm just gonna state my opinion right now. I just don't like Captain Marvel.
No, for real. She's too like. Her
she's
ego is
overpowered. She's arrogant, and like all of my other favorite characters, like the heart and soul of the Avengers, they've been fighting for so long and so hard, and then she shows up and they just kill Thanos. Like it really just feels like an op out.
Like she just kind of shows up out of nowhere. And
yes, and I'm like the rest of my boy Iron Man and Hulk and everybody, they've been fighting this whole time, and then you just show up and everything's fine. Like
exactly,
it doesn't make sense. I don't mind the movie. I think the movie is fine. Like, by itself, I just don't
especially
like
seeing,
it.
Nick Fury without an eye patch.
That was crazy.
It, like, set up why he got an eye patch.
That and I've always wondered why he had the eye patch. So for, like, me, I was like, oh, yeah, this is good.
Got scratched up by a cat.
The cat. Cats are dangerous, but... It's kind of weird to me, the captain, who turns out to be one of the alien people, what is her name?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
This is Iron Man. I'm Captain Marvel. Lawson. That's her last name. I think it's weird that she doesn't show up. Like, I understand she's dead, but, like, she plays, like, a core role in Captain Marvel, and then, like, even at the end, like, on the side of our fighter jet, it's Avengers or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the team, and I'm like...
That's why it's called the Avengers.
Yes, it was because of her, and I think maybe Nick Fury got that from her, because Nick Fury, he's so good in this movie.
Yeah, he's good in everything.
Like, he is good in everything. Like, the movie, Carol, do I like her? No, but, like, him in this movie, he just is, like, so funny. And also, that Phil, what is his name?
Oh, Phil Coulson.
Phil Coulson. That man has my heart because he's, like, in every movie, but he'll only show up for, like, 20 minutes, and then he's gone the rest of the movie. But I'm like, that man...
They had to kill him off in Avengers?
I was like, there's no need for you to do that.
For real.
That man was in Black Panther, okay? And you just killed him off like that? But anyway. Yeah.
For real.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about this?
Monica Rambeau. She's the little girl in that film.
What happens to her?
She's in WandaVision. You don't remember?
I watched WandaVision. She's not...
Yeah.
How come I cannot remember?
She was the black chick.
What? The black chick?
Let me pull a picture.
No. No, she's the reporter.
No.
No.
She works for SWORD.
Okay. And that's what S.H.I.E.L.D. becomes.
No. In WandaVision, she works... Her.
I remember. Now I remember. It's been a long time since I've watched WandaVision.
It's like my comfort show.
It's so good, but our Disney Plus is locked. But she is also the setup. And I also love the aliens. They're cute. Like, their little families, the little squirrel families. I really like them. But, yeah.
And then I know she's going to be in the next Captain Marvel movie.
They're making another one?
Comes out later this year.
I'm not excited. I really don't like Captain Marvel. The movie itself isn't horrible.
Miss Marvel as well. She's going to be in it.
Great.
I know.
I'm all for female representation. Could we not have done it earlier in the series before you read? Okay, moving on to Iron Man. I'll do a quicker plot than I did the first time because that took a long time. So just to recap, Tony is like in Afghanistan, and then he gets trapped in the cave with that other scientist dude, and he has the iron in his heart. So they're like, okay, we're gonna put this arc reactor in your heart. So
pretty much uses it to make sure he's alive.
yes, to keep it away from his heart. And then they escape. The scientist dude dies, or I'm sounding very flippant, but he dies. That's important. And so then he goes back and he's like, okay, so we're not making weapons anymore. And then that, like, Stain dude, his dad's old business partner, the bald man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to ruin the company. And he's like, I don't care. And so then Stain goes against him and gets the pieces of the old suit back and starts building new ones so he can sell them and make money because he's evil. Let's see. And so then... No, that's in Iron Man 2. I was like, what about the Russian dude? He's in the second one. So then...
Tony was like such a just an arrogant dude.
He is so arrogant, but I love him.
And that's probably like about his whole like character arc.
Mm-hmm.
He goes from like this arrogant, rich dude to end up dying to save the world.
I know, and it's just... They did such a beautiful job with that art.
His story
like,
is just...
And
all starts
great.
in this first movie.
Yes, this movie, it, like, sets him up. Especially because we saw his dad in Captain America. Mm-hmm. And then we see, like, that, like, cockiness is carried over to him. Probably worse because of it. But also he gets recruited to S.H.I.E.L.D. By Phil. Our man Phil. Our reoccurring man Phil.
No, isn't that is Black Widow in the second Iron Man or the first one?
Second Iron Man, which is, I think, I like it better than the first one. But my favorite Iron Man is Iron Man 3, so I can't wait to get to that one. I'll have to rewatch it, though, because I haven't seen it in a while. But Iron Man 1, is it just Iron Man or is it Iron Man 1?
Iron Man.
Because he is Iron Man. And at the end, he's like, I am Iron Man. And you're like...
You know, I'm pretty sure that scene was unscripted.
No.
I swear to God, when I looked it up once and it was like...
That sets up the basis for the entire...
That's like the last thing he says.
I am Iron Man.
That's his last words.
Of course, Robert Downey Jr. did that himself.
Exactly.
That man is an icon. Like, he's just...
I'll have to Google it, but I'm pretty sure that's unscripted.
That'd be so cool if he did that himself. I don't know. Is Pepper in the first one?
Yes, she's his assistant.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, this is my assistant girl. And then they fall in love. So I support it. But, yeah, I don't think I dislike anything about this movie. Once again, a solid foundation piece for the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2. So what happened to the plot for this movie?
Okay. I watched the summary. In this one, they basically want him to hand over his tech because it's so powerful, and then he's like, no. And then it flashes over to that Russian dude, Ivan, who's building an arc reactor because his dad worked with Stark, but Stark, like, visaed him out of the country, like, got him deported. And so he's trying to get back to him. But the main plot of this is that stuff that he made to build his arc reactor, it's poisoning him. So he's sick, and he doesn't tell anybody, and so he what is it called? Upgrades Pepper Potts to CEO. I don't know what that calls. But then that's where Natasha Romanoff comes in.
She's his new assistant.
Yes, and she's like watching him because Stark, I'm guessing S.H.I.E.L.D. wants to keep tabs on him or whatever.
Yeah. She was hired, by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, to watch over him and stuff like that. He just starts acting really recklessly. And then that dude with the Russian dude, the Ivan, he comes and he attacks him, and Iron Man beats him, but he, like, almost doesn't. And so then his business partner, like, gets him, the Russian dude, to build suits for him, right? But then he gets them to attack Tony at the expo. Mm-hmm. But then the government's version of Iron Man, who is James Rhodes, the Iron Soldier?
No, it's no. I know what you're talking about. The
it's on the
Iron Patriot.
Iron Patriot. I have a cough now. He comes and he helps him, and they like fight together. Let's not forget he made a whole new element.
Yeah.
Like the park his dad designed is like the layout for an element, so that's where we get introduced to Jarvis as well.
Which is later Vision.
I love that whole plot line. But yeah, Jarvis helps him make it a real thing, and he doesn't, like, that toxic thing that was in his, like, heart or whatever, gone. Which, one of my favorite scenes is when he has Pepper reach his hand into, like, his chest cavity. I was like, oh.
He's got like liquids in there.
Yes, I'm like, I would not do that, Pepper. You are a dedicated woman.
For real.
But the reason he finds out what the new Almenara does is Nick locks him in his house. And he's like, stay here with your dad's stuff, who you hate. And then he figures out that it's an element. They try and recruit him for S.H.I.E.L.D., but at the end of it, they're like, you're too crazy to be an Avenger. So they're like, we'll just keep you on as a consultant, which later, he doesn't listen to that because he's Tony Stark. But it's great. I put what the end credits were.
Oh, and then Happy Hogan was in it.
I forgot. I love that man. I really do.
He's so cool. I love him.
And he's just like such a consistent piece in the story.
And then he becomes like Spider-Man's
yes.
assistant.
I was like, the end of that Spider-Man movie where they're at Tony's grave like rocked me so hard. We can talk about this later, but like Happy was the last person who connected him to Stark, and now Happy doesn't remember him, and that's just like such.
It was so sad.
It's such a
it was
heavy moment.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about that later, not today.
When we get to Spider-Man, I will not shut up.
No, we will be talking for so long, okay? Because I have a lot of things to say.
It's gonna be chaotic.
It will. And at the end of this movie, the end credits, Phil, once again, our boy Phil, finds the hammer in the desert for Thor.
Yeah, for Thor.
So it sets up Thor. And arguably my favorite Marvel movie is Thor Ragnarok.
That was a really good one.
I don't know what it is. Like, it's just brilliant. I love it so much.
Yep.
Okay, what?
So, right, Captain America, the First Avenger at B.
Which is
B
second?
tier.
Third. Okay. Bold out the gate.
Yes. That's what I put that one.
Okay.
I put it at the top, though. Like, at the top of B tier.
Okay.
Like, borderline A.
Okay.
And then I put Captain Marvel at the bottom of C.
Is that the lowest level?
No, D is the lowest level.
So it's above.
I only have one movie in D.
Which is?
The Incredible Hulk.
I've never seen that. No, I have.
It's not even made by Disney. You won't find it. It's on HBO.
No, I don't like. No, I haven't seen that one.
It's part of the MCU. It's just not good. Not even on Disney. I put Iron Man on A.
Which is second, right? Okay, Iron Man 1, though.
Yeah, Iron Man 1.
Because it's a solid piece.
Yeah, and then I put Iron Man 2 in B. Kind of like the bottom half of B. Listen, I know you said it's one of your favorites, right?
It's not. No, Iron Man 3 is
Iron
one of
Man
my
3.
favorites. Yes. I don't know what that was. I will not argue with that because.
Listen, out of all 3 Iron Man movies, it's the weakest.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that. I think it's a really solid storyline, but I just don't feel like it contributes enough to the Marvel universe as a whole.
I mean, it sets up Thor, but so does the actual Thor movie.
Yeah, the Thor. You could watch that and not have to watch you could not watch any of that movie and be fine with the universe. It kind of just deals with. It builds Iron Man's character, which is fine, but it doesn't contribute to the MCU.
It doesn't do much for the overall story of the MCU.
I agree with that. And then Iron Man, was that all of them?
Yeah,
okay.
That's all we're doing.
Okay.
This episode.
That's good. Okay. Thank you for listening. Tune in next time where we'll be discussing the next 4 movies.
Yep.
Yep. Bye.